What actually happens on the very first day after you die? Today, we're breaking down the science of the human body's final journey. And trust me, it's not what you think. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal a hidden twist about how your body becomes part of something much bigger than you. Don't miss it. Death isn't just a single moment, it's a process. Even when consciousness fades almost instantly, some parts of your body keep going for a little while longer. Enzymes continue working, and certain cells remain active as if they're fighting for more time. In fact, scientists have observed that some genes remain active for hours, even producing bursts of activity, almost like tiny echoes of life. From a medical perspective, death starts when the heart stops beating. This is what doctors call clinical death. Blood flow halts, oxygen no longer reaches the organs, and the brain begins to shut down. In this short window, there's still a chance of revival if CPR or medical intervention happens quickly enough. But if several minutes pass without oxygen, the point of no return arrives. This is biological death. At this stage, damage to the brain and organs is irreversible. The brain is the first to feel the effects. Consciousness disappears within seconds, but individual neurons can still fire for a few more minutes. Some scientists believe this may explain why people report vivid experiences in their final moments, like flashes of memory or light. Soon, however, brain cells collapse in large numbers, and the damage becomes permanent. Yet this brief flicker of activity fascinates neuroscientists, because it shows the brain doesn't just switch off, it fades out in a unique and mysterious way. Within the first half hour, visible changes begin. Without circulation, the skin gradually loses its natural color. Blood settles by gravity in the lowest parts of the body, creating subtle patterns that forensic scientists can read like a clock. At the same time, organs such as the kidneys and liver slowly begin to shut down. But it's important to note, this isn't dramatic or gruesome. To the trained eye of science, it's simply biology following its course, step by step. A few hours later, stiffness sets in. Energy inside the muscles runs out, and they lock into place. This process, known as rigor mortis, starts in the small muscles of the face and hands before spreading throughout the body. Scientists have studied this carefully, not just for forensics, but to understand how muscle chemistry works when energy is no longer being replenished. It's another reminder that life is a delicate balance of chemical reactions that stop the moment fuel and oxygen are gone. Inside, another process begins. Enzymes start dissolving tissues in what scientists call autolysis, literally, the body digesting itself from within. But far from being frightening, this step is what allows the transformation of organic matter into nutrients that other forms of life can use. In fact, some researchers describe it as the opening act of recycling, where the body begins giving back what it once borrowed from the earth. By the 12 to 24-hour mark, microbes take over. Bacteria that always lived peacefully inside your body suddenly face no immune system to hold them back. They multiply rapidly, releasing gases and reshaping the body from the inside. To scientists, this isn't simply decay. It's a fascinating transition. Forensic biologists even study these microbial changes like a microbial clock, because the timing of bacterial growth can help them estimate how long a person has been dead. And here's where the hidden twist comes in. Decomposition is not only destruction, it's rebirth. Researchers call it post-mortem microbiodiversity. Your body becomes an ecosystem, feeding insects, enriching soil, and fueling new forms of life. Forests, rivers, and even tiny organisms in the soil depend on these cycles to thrive. In other words, you don't just disappear, you transform. You become part of the endless cycle of life on Earth. Think about it. Every cell, every atom in your body has already been part of stars, oceans, plants, and animals long before you were born. And after death, those same elements return to continue the journey. Death, from a scientific perspective, is not an end. It's a transformation that connects you back to the universe itself. So, now you know what happens in the first 24 hours after death, according to science. But if you think you've heard it all, I'll ask you a question. What if you lived your entire life eating only one single food? The science behind that might shock you, and that's exactly what we'll explore in our next video.